I'm going to show you several different ways to attempt a simplifying radicals problem where there's just a number. The first way I'm going to show you is actually going to be on the right-hand side where it says the best way. That is obviously the best way to do it. And then I'll give you some bad examples that I really want you to try to avoid that some students try and don't do well with. So let's try the best way first. The best way to simplify a radical is to find two numbers that are factors of the original 72, but one of those numbers needs to be the biggest perfect square that's a factor of 72. This time I know that it's 36, so I'm going to do 36 times 2. 36 times 2 is 72, and 36 is the biggest perfect square inside of 72. We know how to do the square root of 36. It is 6. And then we have the root 2 left over. And we're done. That's it. Okay, that's very nice. It's really just I guess a two-step problem. I'm now going to give you two bad ways to attempt simplifying radicals problems, or ways that some students try to do and end up getting it wrong. The first way is they say, or they try to just pick any two numbers that multiply to get 72. Just anything. Anything they can come up with, they'll just put down. So they might go, oh, well, 12 times 6 is 72, so it's got to be 12 times 6. But what's the problem there? You can't do the square root of 12 nor 6. I mean, what's the square root of 6? I don't know, some decimal. It doesn't work. So you can't factor a number into numbers if there's no square. So then there are students who are like, okay, all right, Mr. Edwards. So what about I'll do a square, 16, 16 times 5. How about that? Well, 16 times 5 is 80. Like, that doesn't even, multiply to get 72. And so many students try to do that because they just try to force some predetermined number into the problem just for no reason other than to, I guess, just try to have a square. I mean, that just doesn't work. I'm going to do that in red and give that an X as well. So please try to avoid that. Next, which actually in this third column is fine, you can get the answer. It's just not quite as efficient as the best way. Sometimes, and this doesn't always happen, sometimes you can find two numbers that multiply to get 72 or some number, but it's just not the biggest square. So you can do 9 times 8. You actually can do that. That's okay. What do you get? The square root of 9 is 3. You have root 8. We actually have not made an error. But you'll notice that 3 root 8 is not the same as my blue boxed 6 root 2. What's up with that? I mean, is 3 root 8 an acceptable answer? Well, no, it actually isn't. The reason why is because you still need to simplify completely. You actually need to do this simplification again. So a second time, almost like a second problem. So let's do that. We'll have that 3, and then root 8 can be factored into root 4 times root 2. Root 4 is a square. The square root of 4 is 2. And then we still have the root 2. And finally, we'll do that 3 times 2 that you see on the left-hand side of the root 2. That is 6. And then we have the root 2 left over. Now we have the answer we were hoping for. So, You can use a smaller square. I mean, some students think, oh, well, I don't know if it's the biggest one, so I'm just freaking out now. Math, numbers. But it's okay. You can do it a second time. You'll still get the right answer. If you can, just try to find the biggest square to start off with.